So if you're 30 years old and you're not making as much money as you want, well, here's the 3 things you should be investing.
That's so funny.
What's going through your head to like just keep rocking up? Oh yeah, nah, he'll pay me, he'll pay me.
They would send photos from like underneath of like their balls.
Fuck. What happened next? Because like the shit that I've heard, like it's still going on now.
So I'm freaking out. I'm like there crying to my missus. Like I remember like being on the edge of the bed. I'm like, I'm done. My life's ruined. I'm going to jail.
When did all like the red flags start to appear?
We played ping pong most of the fucking time.
Probably 4 hours a day, every day we're playing ping pong.
What else? What other stories you got before we fucking wrap this up?
We kept playing ping pong, bro.
Really, all I wanted to do was have an excuse to dress up as HORMOZI and buy some Crocs. If there's like one thing you could have changed or done differently in your journey in business career, what would you have changed?
Nothing. Ordered Uber Eats 3 times that day and literally didn't get out of bed.
So what did you respond back to that?
My name is
Russell Brand.
Hello, guys.
Gary V.
What's up, my guys?
Alex HORMOZI.
This is Life, Money and Love.
Alright, so yeah, this is the Halloween special of Life, Money and Love. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck the plan is with this. We're going to plan some Halloween shit out, some good topics. There's going to be Halloween horror stories, so we're going to share some funny and crazy or the most challenging moments we've had in business or with our careers. And I guess that'll still come up a bit, but we have no plan, so we're just going to chat about whatever. Obviously, as you can see, we're all dressed up as some of our favourite content creators. We've got Russell Brand.
Hello, guys.
Gary V, obviously.
What's up, my guys?
And Alex HORMOZI, without being jacked. So yeah, fuck it. Let's just see where it goes. It's going to be something different. Just want to have some fun. Really, all I wanted to do was have an excuse to dress up as HORMOZI and buy some Crocs. So the outfit is complete.
Hey, there
in case
we
you
go.
can't see. But yeah, let's talk about, because there's some funny stuff that you guys have had gone through in business. One employer that we won't call out any people and name any names, but you got some funny stories. Got some funny stories from that place, and I've probably got some thinking back from all the jobs I've had as well. We want to keep it kind of related to what the podcast is like. So we'll keep them mainly business and career focused and stuff, but whatever comes up, fuck it. We'll just have fun for the next bit. But how did you guys actually start working at that place? Who worked at that place first, Yui or Joe?
I was first.
Sorry, Russell or Gary?
Yeah.
Me, I was
Russell.
first.
Yeah.
Bro, it was literally just a normal ad. I needed the job, applied. It was...
Where was it? Seek or LinkedIn?
Oh, Indeed, I think.
Indeed, that's what you know, bro. Evie would know when. So this is if you do a LinkedIn ad, you get the best. Seek, a bit iffy. Indeed,
The worst?
the worst.
Like worst.
That makes sense.
Because it's the cheapest to run the ads on, I think.
Yeah, probably. Well, knowing him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was there, bro. I started there. I worked there for literally 2 years.
Mm.
And then when COVID struck,
Yeah.
that's when something else came to fruition. And then Joe joined.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working at the gym, so I was working at Crunch at the time, and then the company owner.
Yeah, let's just call him something. Let's just fucking
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah. So Dave came and told me. So he was a member of the gym, and he said, he said, I'm a carpet layer. So I was like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And we started talking. Anyway, and then
Sounds like a bit of a sexual innuendo.
probably could have been, and then he said, then like a week later we're talking, and he said, what are you doing? Like, do you want to come and work for me? And I said, well, I'm not a carpet layer, so no, I don't. And he said, no, I own a company. I own like a gym equipment company. And then I came in, he said, oh, look, I've got, there's a guy working there. His name's Yusuf.
Did you know Yui yet?
No, this is before this was his introduction of Yui to me. He said, hey, I know Yusuf. I've got a guy. His name's Yusuf. He's wanting to buy a house soon.
What?
Like, what the fuck is that? I only found that out the other day.
That was my first experience. So I was like, okay.
He said that to you when introducing Yui?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Because he was like, he's young type of thing. Like, he's successful. I think that's what he was trying to get at. And anyway, so they had
Is it because, did you ever mention to him that you done real estate?
No.
How did you meet this guy?
From the gym.
At the gym.
Because I worked at the gym at the time. And then Yui, we had a shoot. It was with, I'm not going to say who it was, but we had this like, what was it? Like a workout.
Yeah, little
You can say what? It's fucking in
workout
fitness. It was like a gym equipment. Brand,
Yeah. I wasn't going to say
There's
who
fucking
it was.
thousands of those, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Um,
It was home workout videos.
Yeah,
It was a
like
lockdown and stuff.
a workout thing. So then I came in, and then that's when I met Yui, and then from there I was talking with him, and then not Yui, so like the business owner Dave, and then
Dave.
I got a job
not
there.
I forget the guy's actual name anyway.
Well, to you, it's fucking embedded in my mind.
But yeah, and then we started that. It was in COVID. We weren't meant to go in.
Yeah.
Like we were not meant. Like we weren't really meant to. Like it was out of my LGA. It was out of your LGA. We just all went in and worked in the office. So then, yeah, that's how we met.
No, I didn't go. It was only him.
Yeah, no, we didn't break those.
We didn't do that.
Sorry, yes, you're right. No, we all stayed home.
It was Gary V and
Yeah, but when
Russell
did all the
Brandon.
like? That's a bit of backstory. When did all like the red flags start to appear?
What was the first one? The first one would have been the stupid decision to buy a specific car.
That was only the first red flag.
Oh, there was a few. So it started off with a bang. Like because it was peak COVID, Dave had a one company, then started a fitness company, which was completely different. It was just that he couldn't get equipment, so he was like, "Oh, I'm going to start equipment." So then that was sort of like completely different. So all these people in the office are like designers and like interior designs and stuff. They don't do gym equipment.
Yeah.
So then when we came in, I came in to do the ads running Facebook. I think it was only Facebook from memory.
Yeah.
And at this time, peak COVID, obviously,
Anyone could have sold gym equipment then.
anyone could have sold gym equipment and advertising. It was like right when CPMs really dropped before they've now picked up.
Yeah.
So we were getting like, it started with a bang. I came in running like really shit ads. Like they were like
Do you remember what the ads were?
like the media buying was fine. There was
like
it was like the creatives were like,
Well, we didn't have any equipment.
we didn't have any equipment.
It was
For
literally
months
just
we had no
Photoshop
equipment.
shit. Fuck.
It was literally just carousels of photoshopped equipment, but everyone needed the equipment. So we
Like
were
you
getting
didn't even have real photos. Could you get them off? Like, was it from China?
Eventually, like a couple of weeks in, we got like palette photos, and you could see them on them, and we started running. Did we run those photos?
yeah, it was like photos that the supplier had taken on their phone.
Of like it on a palette.
But we were running that. We were getting a 10 ROAS. And we were getting a 10 ROAS, spending $1,000 a day. So we were doing really, really well. We had an open day. All these people came up to pick their equipment. Half the people, there was issues because...
Oh, so they had to pick up their own equipment.
Well,
Only at the start.
yeah.
Like it was like an open day thing. Like, oh, come meet the team. Come get your equipment.
Okay.
To make it look like, oh, we're real.
How many customers do you reckon came that day?
Probably 100.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck, he's had 100 customers.
Yeah, it was throughout the whole day. People were just coming in, dropping by.
Yeah. There was quite a few. Like, it was a big day. And we did, like... It was fun, don't get me wrong. Like, all of this was really, really fun. We enjoyed it. It was really fun, and, like, we learned a lot. And then, yeah, there was that open day. There was issues because people were like, oh, I'm expecting this, but we don't have this equipment. And there was, like, sort of issues, but he's really good with people, Dave. Like, he's really good. Like, that was his biggest strength. Like, building relationships with people, like, that was what he did really well. So... That was fun.
And that day, by the way, was the first day we ever saw the equipment too. When the equipment rocked up there,
That's right.
it was a surprise for everybody. Like if this could have been like fucking bullshit stuff, right?
Yeah.
It could have sent us
How
anything.
long in advance did the equipment arrive at your like
That morning.
It was there.
It came on on the truck.
the morning that everyone was meant to come?
Yes, and bro, we just kept the equipment there at that guy's shop for like
Yeah, bro.
a couple of weeks, bro. And the bloke's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like
Wait, whose shop?
the guy
So
who sold the car to Dave.
Yeah.
He has a shop that sells vehicles and stuff. So we used that shop as our open day.
Oh, so this wasn't in Alexandria at your office?
Not
it
at
was
the
in
office,
Alexandria, but not in the office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, so we got it that day. And like, so that was a nightmare.
That's already so risky, bro, to plan a launch day
Oh,
of
for
anything the day your stock's meant to arrive. How many fucking times have we had stock? It gets delayed more often than not half the time. Even if it's a day, 2 days, a week, I would never, ever plan a go live or event or a launch the day that I'm told stock's going to arrive.
Yeah, well, he was a very, very ballsy type of person, that Dave, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, the thing was, and it wasn't just like everyone in COVID, everyone wanted gym equipment. So there was all these brands popping up and making making a lot of money. It was just that then it was impossible. Like, you didn't have equipment. Even like big brands at the time that were doing well prior were still struggling. If you weren't doing your own manufacturing, there's one company, Alpha Fit in Queensland, does their own most of their manufacturing. I'm sure they did okay. Everyone else that wasn't doing their manufacturing, were all struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that was sort of the start of it. That's how we met. We became close quite quick. Like, we dressed the same, we got the same name. Like, we got on. And then, that was sort of...
Gary and Russell's pretty different. Pretty different.
But what happened next? Because, like, the shit that I've heard, like, it's still going on now.
Yeah.
And, like, this is, like, how long ago did you stop working with him completely?
December last year, wasn't it?
End of last year.
Something like that. I left for a bit.
Yeah.
So we're jumping ahead a bit now, but I left for a bit and then came back for a little bit. But basically, what happened was, like, it was all going... It was no stock coming in. There's angry customers, but we're sort of dealing with it. We're sort of each day as it comes. We're doing all right. We're still bringing a lot in from Facebook. Then...
Was it anything or just Facebook ads?
I'm pretty sure it's just Facebook.
Yeah, just strictly Facebook. We put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Then...
Classic.
That's when the page went down. So when the page went down, that was when it sort of... So the Facebook page, obviously we went... And I said this like from
This is from feedback scores, right?
Feedback score, yeah. And because I dealt with it with my own stuff, I knew it was going to happen. I said it from the get-go. I said, we need to satisfy these customers or we're gonna get screwed.
And what happens for the people listening? Like, what happens when your page gets shut down due to a poor feedback score?
So for people that don't know, basically a couple of years ago, Facebook brought in a customer feedback score. It's out of, like, I think it's out of 5.
Yeah, it is.
Customers of yours get surveys that come up on their feed that says, like, how did you rate this brand? Was it a good experience? And they can leave reviews. If people are leaving bad reviews, Facebook takes down basically your page. You can review it and you have like some chances, but basically you can't advertise. Then there's all these obviously Facebook circumventing, what are they called? Like, issues. You can't just create a new page. It's your Facebook page that gets banned, not your ad account. You can't just make a new Facebook page. It'll get taken down as well. So that was that. We started with an agency.
But at that point it was fucked. I remember everyone, like, we were doing everything right. We were actually really close with Facebook. Like, I was having meetings with them like every I think it was once every 2 weeks, then in person once every couple of months. And I remember our feedback score went low then as well, not like shut down. And it's the only thing that was negative was stock took too long to arrive. But it's like, literally, the whole fucking world is in this situation. What do you expect people are going to do? Like, so Facebook are really good about it and they're trying to do all these things, but they're like, essentially, even what Facebook was saying, it's like the team, if it does get down, like, they're telling me all this stuff to avoid it and, okay, submit your reviews and stuff to these people. Because if it does go to that point, it's hard even for people at Facebook to reverse that.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
How many people did we try to go through in Facebook?
Yeah, there was heaps.
And they can't fix it.
We had like, you get usually with Facebook, the lower levels is they're based in the Philippines and then you had the higher levels. So we were dealing with these people and they're like, look, there's nothing we can really do. But then we got an agency that was sort of like, but they knew the issues. There was nothing they could do, and they didn't want to take us on because they're like, we can't attach your ads, like your ad managers to us. It's going to affect all of our accounts. So it's like all this weird stuff. I tried to do like the dodgy and like pay for like reviews to try to get our feedback score up. Like we tried everything.
It didn't work?
No. So there was issues with that. Then the website was shocking. Like
it came a long way. It started on Wix, bro.
Yeah.
I literally built this website in a day or two.
Yeah.
On Wix, it was fucking blue.
Yeah, like the background was dark blue.
I had no control over it. I was just doing what I was told. But bro, it was all right.
The what's it called? Like the main image was a tiger, like a tiger growling. It was like
I stole that video from Squarespace, bro. It was like a Squarespace header video. We were trying to say, what should we use?
Yeah.
And then he liked it, so I had to fucking screen record it and then upload it to Wix.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just basically it was all going downhill. Then we had our Christmas party. I don't know what year this would be, like 2020. Had the Christmas party, and then like I left not long after that because that's when then it was like we've run out of money. So it's like, hey, like we stopped getting paid.
Yeah.
Basically, I was a lucky.
How much money did he end up owing you at the end? Like now,
like he still owes me $3,000, which is not a lot. Like but for me it was like fuck. Like
yeah.
You know?
And you?
And Yui, how much?
Well, the first round
Yeah.
was 2 rounds. The first round was 10 grand.
Yeah.
Literally fucking 10
That's
grand.
like how long were you working for him for free?
Bro, a couple of weeks, bro.
And what, more than a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Like surely you go getting paid less than $5,000 a week.
No.
Yeah.
It was like, I
A
don't know,
while,
and
right?
then-
And
and
what's going through your head that you're still going up? That's the thing. Like,
there was-
what's going through your head to like just keep rocking up? Oh yeah, nah, he'll pay me.
No, it wasn't even that. Like, one, I was cool, and two, I was like, bro, I want to work through this issue. If we can get through this, we'll get through anything.
Yeah, no.
Like, I had just different like intentions. I wasn't worried about me. I was worried about the business.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, that's good.
But I'd been with them before this even started. This new brand started, right? So, and it was mainly because all the other guys started getting neglected. So from the previous company that we had, they were all just like, they were just slowly being lost in the shadows. That company was just being left alone and basically just disappeared, right? So I'm like, fuck, like, if that's gone, we got to concentrate on this now.
Because that was actually a profitable business when you first bought it, right?
Yeah, bro. Like, there was issues with it, but, you know, we were able to keep it running. But, yeah, bro, it just kept going. And then it got to a point, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's a lot of money owed now.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And then got all of that paid back eventually.
Oh, you got the 10 grand?
Yeah, I got the 10 grand. And then it happened again. Like, I was getting paid consistently, so it caught up, and then I was getting paid, and then it happened again.
Does he let you know, oh, I'm not going to pay you this week, or you just check your bank?
It just happened, and I'm like, oh, I'll let this one slide. The next week, I'm like, oh, I don't know, should I say something? Fuck it, I'll leave it. And the third week, I'm like, bro, what's going on? And then it just kept going.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, please, just help out.
And what does he say? Because I've seen some of the messages, like, it's ridiculous, some of this stuff, right?
Oh, he's
nowadays.
Yeah, I just don't even read him anymore. What is he?
There's always an excuse, right?
There's always an excuse. Like, it was hard as well, and to the point of like why Yui stayed. Like, it was fun. Like, none of this was done out of like, it was never done maliciously. It wasn't like he was a good bloke, and like we got on with him, and he taught us a lot, and he helped us with a lot. And let us do whatever we wanted.
Yeah,
bro, we played ping pong most of the fucking time.
Like, probably 4 hours a day, every day we're playing ping pong. So you can see why the business didn't work. But
well, no, when the fucking stock is still stuck in another country, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah. So he was a good bloke. It was never intended like for it to get like that. It was just that then it was just mismanaged.
Yeah.
And like the reason we got paid again was just like investment. So what he would do is then like try and get other investment in from friends, family, like things like that. Then he sat us down one day. He sat us down one day and he said, look, because I'd said to him, like, if this works, like, I'm really, like, you know, we get on, I want to sort of do something. We're both business minded.
Yeah.
So anyway, he sat us down one day and he said, look, we're taking on investment if you want to, like, sweat equity. So we're like, okay, like, sweet, like we'll hear him out. Basically, he sat us down. He said, "So the business is valued at $1 million."
Just out of nuts, just what he decided, right?
Yeah. And then so he said to you, like, you basically my debt's cleared with you.
Yeah.
And you own 1%.
1%.
Well, that valuation he owns,
10 grand.
And so like I would have had to pay or like not get paid for a couple of months to make up for that. So that was like the evaluation. Like at this time, they were in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where it got basically the valuation was based on the stock purchased.
1,000? No. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Is it 1,000?
How much did he owe you? I don't know.
He owed me 10 grand.
10 grand. Yeah. So yeah,
I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, well, 1,000 would be 1%.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait.
No,
1,000 of
100
100,
is 10%.
Yeah.
So then
doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why we have Evie to do the maths.
But yeah, I think what it was, they spent millions of dollars on stock because they were trying to get it in. Like they spent a lot of money. So I think it was based on that. Look, last time I spoke to him, like he's obviously, you know, not doing too well. They'll have to bankrupt. You can sort of talk about like it's gone into
liquidation, basically. Well, that's what I can't really say much else. But
Have you got emails from credit?
yeah. So, there's actually, that reminded me, I have to get back to him. There's another thing that's going on with that. So yeah.
So you reckon you're gonna get your money?
No way.
No.
No, I've already counted that as a loss. Like
Yeah,
it's the second version, because that was round 1, round 2. The round 2 is only, it's like 6,500.
Yeah.
On the creditors thing, it's only 4,000. So what the fuck is up with that? But
Yeah.
anyway.
the hardest thing, like the most frustrating thing was when I came back. I sort of said to him, "Look, I want to come back, but it can't be the same as last time." And promises, yeah. Then we know we're struggling for money. He can't pay us, and he would hire more people.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't believe. Yeah.
Like he would genuinely like,
And these are good people too.
and our mates, our friends.
Yeah.
He would hire, and I'm like, you can't. Like this is I can't. Like if you wanting me to recruit my friends, I need to make sure. Like you need to promise me. Yeah, I promise you. So then that was shit, because then we weren't getting paid, because then he would.
So he's paying your friends that you've brought in?
Yeah.
I want to say the one thing he said to me, bro. He said, "Oh fuck, no. What did he say? Do you remember what he said?" No, because he's like to me. Obviously, I was the longest employee there. Everybody else had left, so I was the longest standing employee. And he's like, "Oh, I know you'll be all right, so I got to pay everybody else first."
Oh yes, I do know what he did. He said it to me. Yeah. He said basically like, I don't pay Yui because like I know he's all good.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm all good because I get paid.
Like he'll be here regardless.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, hold the fuck up. Like,
this
is bullshit now. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. But that, like, it was a good learning. And again, like, I do gonna say, like, we kind of roast him a bit. It was like, it's not, it was just a business. Like, it was just poor management. It was like, bro, we were there. So you know the grounds? Across the road where there's the work space. He wanted to buy that whole thing and build out like a fantasy factory. Like we had like sketches and all these stuff done.
Like a fucking Gymshark HQ or something.
Like with basketball courts. Like we were looking at this place. Like I don't know what
delusions.
Bro, he was shooting for the stars, bro.
Yeah,
like he had big dreams. I reckon he could have fucking pulled it off if there wasn't those bullshit issues. He probably could have, bro.
Could have pulled it off. That's bro. Anyone could have been fucking selling something at the 4 ROAS at that time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's like because Joe was. We were working on like just the start of the podcast at that point. That's all we were working on, right? When we're in, because I remember you telling me all these stories and like, what do you think? And at the start, I was like, oh yeah, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then I'm like here every time. Oh yes, I haven't got paid. And then I'm just like, oh, I'd tell him, I'm like, oh, just. Do it. Like you'll realize pretty soon. Like that's the thing. I'm all for working for free and learning off people as well. But there's a difference between working for free and getting something out of it and just wasting your time and not getting taken advantage of. Like he was trying to do it to hurt you, but clearly taking advantage of your guys' good will or attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not to blame him or anything. Like it's our fault for sticking around.
Yeah,
regardless of
exactly.
how good it's our fault. It's not his fault. Like he didn't put a gun to our head saying, "Oh, I mean, he did say if you want to get paid, you got to keep working." But anyway.
He's like, I can't. Like
I can't pay you.
He's like, Joe, I can't pay you. I need you to come in and run some ads for me to get some money so I can pay you. Like, no, bro. That's what got me in this position.
I literally have texts from him saying that.
Does he like?
That's a good point. Like we do have to take accountability. Like we were staying there when we knew it wasn't the best. It was just like
because we kept playing ping pong, bro. It
was
so fun.
It was a piss take. Like it was enjoyable to go to work because we weren't doing it. So like we do have to take accountability for a lot of it. But yeah,
because who else did you get in? Was it Jose?
Yeah,
you started working there.
Jess.
Yeah, our friend Jess, Alex was there for a bit. Yeah, so three of my friends that I'd all like, not like super close friends, but like, 3 friends. Look, it was an experience. I think as well. At the time, because I had my own things going. Then I went to a marketing agency.
Oh yeah.
So then I went to a marketing agency, did that for 6 months, and I was like, oh, this isn't fun. And that's when I came back.
Did you get paid at all once you went back?
At the start, I was like, okay, cool. Like we're fixing these problems. But yeah, it was just like all dodgy tactics trying to we had people roasting us. Of course.
Yeah,
like there was
all
like
over
the
social media,
customers,
right?
It was
Bro, people were finding us on LinkedIn, on anything, bro. And you know how there's those random websites on Google that, you know, somehow find out who's part of the company?
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
they
yeah.
put me as director somehow. So I'm getting these fucking messages like, oh, bro, where's my shit? I'm like, who the fuck, where are you getting this information
Yeah,
from? And I
yeah,
Googled
yeah.
it and I'm there as a director. I'm like, bro, this is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So that day I removed, you know, on LinkedIn and you have the company you work for and all that. I removed everything,
Ah,
bro.
yeah.
I was like, I went ghost.
Fuck.
the frustrating thing
Mm.
was every time we had a suggestion, it was always the same response. With all due respect, you're young and you don't know. And I'm like, and it's like, bro, I actually do know.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like I said to him, like there's so many examples, but I'm like, we need to get a 3PL. This is like, this logistically isn't going to work. No. A year later, all right, guys, we're going to get a 3PL. Like, yeah, I told you that a year ago. Even like Facebook stuff, it was like,
Well, he didn't need a 3PL because I was in the fucking warehouse, bro. The marketing guy, the videographer, content creator was in the warehouse fulfilling orders, bro.
Mm.
yeah, we spent 6 months there. That was fun.
It was actually a fun time. I enjoyed it, but still.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a...
Yeah, I don't think obviously I will, because I was fucking paying people. We've never had any issues like that. At Happy Skin, I feel like going back to what we were talking about before, like issues, our biggest issues, we've had some scary days. Obviously everything worked out, but like shit that people never know about because our product is like, well, we didn't think this at the start, me and George, when we started. Like, think of fucking IPO, hair removal handset, something that makes your hair grow back less. It's like a aesthetic product, right? But and that's what all the legislation was before we launched. But so we launched, obviously, and then like probably about 18 months in, and this is the sort of stuff that people don't know just from the outside of business. I think it was like 18 months, 2 years in, we get a letter from the TGA saying like, stop selling immediately. This is a medical device. You're not compliant. This, that. Well, you've been reported probably by a competitor of ours. So we're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, this is what the law says. And they go, yeah, but we just changed the law. So they just changed it because we blew up the category. It wasn't really on their radar prior. So they're like, we just changed it. I'm like, well, they told us to shut down immediately. We're like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we'll work with you. Like, straight away, like, yeah, let's work with you to find a solution. But this, you can't just change it, change the laws one day and the next day expect people like to be compliant with something you just made up.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So they're like, all right, if you can provide X, Y, Z to us within like the next month, we'll be sweet. And luckily we worked with our manufacturer and we were able to provide all that stuff. Fuck, it was really hard to do. We had to do like get all the testing and all the results and stuff done and provide them with all that stuff. And honestly, it was so stressful at that time. But now like that shit pops up fucking once a year and it's just like, like it's always just like a misunderstanding or we need to provide more documentation. And I remember with the TGA thing, we had so many competitors at that time. And I'm like, look, I know it costs us quite a bit of money to get compliant. And only like the top manufacturers that there was only a couple manufacturers that were currently producing that product that could be compliant. I remember thinking to ourselves, is like, do we go full on, like, do we just like essentially snitch on every single one of our competitors, send them to the TGA and shut them all down? And I was just like, we didn't do it. Couple reasons. One, I'm like, I'd rather like, I don't want to be that type of person. Like, even though someone's, you know, snitched on us essentially. And two, it's like, there was that. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I'd rather just, we're already the best. Like, I'd rather just beat them by, you know, being the best. But also I'm like, yeah, but if we do all that, I'm just going to bring more heat onto our industry. And I didn't want that. And then like we have shit. And then with like the FDA going into America, same stuff. We're like, you can't, what do you mean you're not meant to be selling this stuff? We're like, no, we are registered. Like, we don't see Happy Skin Co. anywhere in our database. And we're like, no, like, again, we just have to explain to them, he's our manufacturer, we purchase off them, blah, blah, blah. And it's always all good. Like, we provide them all the we do everything above board. That's why I'm comfortable talking about this now. It's all sweet. But like, bro, the first time we got that letter, I was thinking like, what do we do, bro, if we just out of nowhere can't sell our main product anymore? So Yeah, it was fucking scary.
That's scary that they can just change the law like that out of
Bro.
nowhere and not like warn you guys or say anything. It's just like, no, now you have to shut down.
Yeah.
Like imagine tomorrow they say, oh, no more petrol cars.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Now
yeah.
every bloody car manufacturer is going to be like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like that's probably the main ones for us. Like, what else has been fucking really fucked? Oh, like there's decisions along the way that you regret. Like, and it's more like kind of what Joe was saying before about how he was like, oh, with all due respect, you're young, you don't know. It's like, for me, being in charge or like leading a business, no management experience really, like working at a gym, but that's just like you're hanging out with a bunch of young kids essentially. And like you've had all this incredible success and then like, okay, I'm going to take the next step. And you think about, oh, I'll go work with these like big agencies and they'll help us take it to the next level. And it's like balancing, you want to be always open to new ideas and new thoughts and new ways of doing things and not being super egotistical. And then at the same time, like, you know, inside your gut that this is wrong, but because they're older, more experienced, you're like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm just, you know, maybe I'm just being cocky or maybe they do know better. And every time I've been in that situation and I've fucking trusted someone to do something against what I was feeling intuitively, 9 times out of 10, it's gone fucking wrong.
that's it.
It's so hard though, like on that point, it's so hard to know when that line is, like when you should believe in yourself and when you should listen to other people. Like even Toby Pierce was speaking about this on a podcast where he's like, he was asked like, what would you advise for something? He's like, I wish I was okay being wrong more. Like I wish I was fine to be okay. Like I was fine to be wrong more. And that's what I struggle with is like whether if you, trusting your gut and knowing best with anything, knowing best or no, you need to listen. Like, I don't know, how can someone sort of.
I think it's just the openness to new ideas and like particularly when you have a team, you're hiring people to be experts in their field. You know what I mean? Ideally, you want to be hiring people that that know their thing way better than you. And it's always easy for me. Like if I need something in finance, obviously I'm going to trust Andy. If I need something operationally or doing like fucking projections, I'm going to trust Evie. But when it was like came to where I struggled, although upon reflection I was right, and this is what everyone struggles with. When it came to like building out a marketing team and trusting people to do all that, I probably let go too quickly. And I'll just trust people and then really quickly as well. Like it's such a fucking hard thing to do when you're in your early mid-20s to build a business for the first time. You're making millions and millions of dollars a year. And then it's like, how do you figure out fucking what to do? It's such a, like obviously hindsight's 20/20, right? Yeah. Like, you know, okay, I should have done this at that point, should have done this at that point. But and that's the thing, like because ecom was relatively fresh, there weren't a whole lot of people to look up to that were sharing their experience, their thoughts, their failures openly. Like it's become more common nowadays, but like the only guys that I knew that really had done anything in like ecom in Australia before us, like noteworthy, were the High Smile guys, you know what I mean? And I remember those guys that had, you know, what did they have? Fucking, was it like Chats with Nick and Alex or whatever their Facebook channel group was?
Something like that.
I remember, and it's so funny, I remember me and George were chatting before we launched. We had a question about, I don't know, about something. And I'm like, oh, they say like message the page and we'll answer your question. And I remember I messaged them a question one time and they replied, and I fucking love these guys, like no disrespect at all. And it was like the most generic response ever. And I mean, I was like, fuck, what was even the point of that? And then I realized once you're in that position, bro, these guys are getting hundreds of messages a day. What do you expect these people running their business to give you a fucking full detailed breakdown? Like, oh yeah, it was essentially just keep going. Like essentially something about, no, I think it was about like influencers, micro-influencers not posting. It's like, yeah, man, it happens. You just got to ignore it and keep going. I'm like, well, that's not a way to manage. Like, what do you do to deal with it? Like, there's nothing you can do to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so funny. I messaged that page as well, and it was very similar.
Yeah.
I remember my message was like, "Hey guys, looking to start a clothing brand. What should I do?"
Oh,
that's like the most generic question, the most broad question. Like the response I got was completely deserved. Of just just keep going, be true to yourself. Or something.
Yeah. But what can you say? Like at that point,
exactly.
It's difficult. Like when, that's why I like with the consulting and stuff, it's like, when I always try and reply to everyone who DMs me. At certain times, like you go on a big podcast, you have hundreds of messages. It's difficult to always fully respond, but it's like some people message you such broad questions, like how, like to answer that and truly give you value. It's not, it's difficult. You know what I mean?
If only there was the CEO and founder of Saks Grooming out there to help you
Oh
out.
yeah.
Oh, plenty of mistakes with that. That's for sure. I remember when you.
What's some of the mistakes you made with Saks? Because that was your you did a few brands before Saks. Like this is all ecom stuff, right?
So I had there was a couple of brands that I started. First was like a pillow brand, like an ergonomic pillow. It was like a hot drop shipping product. Well, first it started.
Were you drop shipping or were you?
Well, it started Amazon FBA.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it started. That's where I first. So it was like a clothing brand. I wanted to start a clothing brand.
Yeah.
Even going back, I actually started network marketing,
What do you mean? Like
like a pyramid scheme.
like a pyramid scheme? Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of those kids. Yeah. So I started
What were you doing?
that.
Arbin?
That was it was called Max International.
Yeah. What is it? What's Max International?
So I actually haven't. I don't think. Yeah,
I didn't even know. Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is when I was 18. So I was fresh 18. My mum was involved in the business, like family friends.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like these supplements that use glutathione. Glutathione is like you probably heard, like it's a molecule that is I think found in your body, and what it does is like the free radicals, so it stops oxidization. So oxidization is what causes aging.
Yeah.
So it's sort of to help with that. So injuries, things like that. Anyway, so I was like selling this, and that was my first bit of business. I didn't really know.
Did you make much money from it?
I made nothing, but I didn't know that network marketing had a stigma around it at the time.
Yeah.
So I remember like messaging my mates like, "Hey man, like, like you know this, like the girls always comment like, "Hey girl, haven't seen you in age." It's like it was like that.
Yeah.
Like, hey bro, like let's catch up. Got a cool business idea. I want to pitch you. Had like these meetings and stuff. Got a couple of guys on board. It didn't really go from there, and then I stopped that.
One of my best friends does like network marketing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, network marketing, MLM.
But like she makes quite good money from it. Like
some people make coin.
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
had like a couple of people just like that I was introduced, like they were making good coin.
and like there's the stigma around it, but like if you can do it in a way that like you're putting out content that attracts inbound leads and you're not hustling all your friends and it's products you actually believe in, then go for
like
it.
the product, honestly, the products seriously were actually really good. Like they were really good.
Did you try them?
Yeah, I had them. I had it every day. So it was like a
Bro, how do you think you got in? You had to buy the product first.
Yeah, that's how it works. You got to buy the products. Yeah. But I had like they generally were really good.
It'd be good to start a pyramid scheme to be at the top.
You think what I'm thinking?
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, from there, then it was Amazon FBA. So that was the start. Then it was a clothing brand. Christian Guzman on YouTube. People know who he is. He has the brand.
Founder of Guzman and Gomez.
He has the brand Alphalete. Started like a clothing brand. Did like logos, all of that stuff. Then from there, Amazon FBA.
What was your product for Amazon FBA?
So the most random product. So I bought a course from, what's his name?
The guy who's the Amazon guy, the classic Amazon guy.
Mate.
He's the Aussie guy,
Nah.
short brown hair. Oh man, every seminar I went to, this guy was that. And he was so good. I'm like, I want to do Amazon FBA.
No, it was.
Never did, obviously.
His name's escaping me, but it was a classic ad. Like the ad, I remember the YouTube ad. It's like him driving like a black Lamborghini Huracan. Like it's like, yeah, this is the lifestyle. I did this. I was like, okay, cool. First product that I did, or the only product that I did. So the first one was whiskey stones.
Whiskey stones.
So like.
The metal ones?
The metal ones. So people don't want to have ice in a whiskey because it waters down the whiskey. So you have these like metal.
Put them in the freezer.
And then
yeah.
So like that was the first product that didn't work. Then I wanted to do a fireproof document bag. Like
who needs that, bro? In 2020, whatever.
The way you did. I don't know if it's the same now, but you have these apps like Jungle Scout, and you're checking to see the sales volume each day on products. So you can see, it's actually selling well.
Yeah.
There's a way that you can track it where you're seeing, it's doing consistent sales. This was something that was doing consistent sales. Did that, stopped. From there, Shopify, I went really long. Shopify, I started drop shipping, selling watches, standard like watches, men's accessories. I wasn't running Facebook ads. This guy at the time taught this method of you just message people. So I was on Instagram messaging people
To buy your product.
yeah, like, hey, looking for an ambassador. So the whole thing, looking for an ambassador, here's 20% off. Get 5 people, you get a free product. So sort of like that. So it's just sending 100 messages a day.
Did you get any sales like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I started to get sales, and like, I honestly, like, I would have made a couple of $100. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
nothing.
What product again?
Like watches, men's watches,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Right, I get those DMs still, like people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, this guy, he's like done pretty well with it, and he like has obviously, yeah. Anyway, and then from there it was like proper drop shipping. Got into Facebook ads, realized I like really like media buying. And then yeah, there was an ergo pillow. Then there was like I got into like print on demand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that like I was doing cartoon drawings for cars.
Oh, I remember that.
So,
Yeah,
like,
well,
I was-
you showing me.
Yeah, so I did those, and then from there, during COVID, I was like, all right, no, I want to take this seriously. Excuse me, because there was the payments coming in, so I was basically at home getting paid, whilst I was working at
Playing ping pong.
gym company. So I'm like, I'm got bank, I'm gonna do something with it. So started this brand, Sax Grooming, which was a competitor to Manscaped.
Like ball shavers, right?
Ball shavers, yep. Launched, like, built full ad. Like, I spent so much, learnt so much, created everything, launched ads, like, from the get-go, was getting 4 ROAS, like...
Yeah.
It was my first e-com client of
Oh,
live
really?
content.
Yeah, that's right, building the website.
What was that for UE Films or what
Yeah,
did you call it?
for
Something
UE
else?
Films,
Yeah.
Yeah, so did the photos. We got Jose to come in and do, like, for the
The modeling.
website.
Yeah.
Did that, launched, put it on my Instagram, like, it's archived now. But like I said, look, I've launched a company. And then, yeah, first month, 12 grand. I was like, fuck, like, I made it.
I've made it, yeah.
But like from literally
Yeah.
making, like, I remember being like working at the gym at the time as well.
Did you ship the stock to a 3PL here or to your
straight
house?
to me? So I had to learn
How big was your first order?
40 units.
You
So-
could private
Yeah.
label 40 units.
So
Oh, you didn't have custom
no,
packaging and stuff?
I couldn't. So what it was plain. There was no
Essentially
logo
drop
on it.
shipping, but you take the stock.
Yeah. So it was like small MOQ drop shipping, I guess. But not
No,
really,
not
'cause I
really.
was-
It's like
I was-
private label, but you
yeah.
can't change anything.
So what I did was I made stickers of my logo, and then I would sticker every box.
Yeah.
And I had like a little insert that I
What
would
did the
put in.
box look like? Was it
Literally just like, standard shipping, like what do
like
they
their
call it?
packaging? Was it really was it?
No, it's just like a standard black shipping box.
Yeah.
I don't know what they like. I think that's what.
No,
they're
like you
called.
know how sometimes you get samples of products from like Alibaba or something, and they arrive and like the packaging is like.
Oh yeah, like some of them are pretty ruined.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I would just put a sticker on them, and had like a little insert. I then sent them. Yeah, was just sending them. So from home. So before I
Yeah.
could get an e-parcel account, because you got to apply for an e-parcel account with Australia Post. Before I had that, so
You're
I
dropping them at the post office.
Yeah, it was just print the labels manually one by one, and I had to figure this all out. Print the labels, put it on, and then I would literally, I've got photos where I just had bags and bags and bags of just stock every couple of days, and just take it, put it in, like, not even the post office, I would take them to like the post boxes on the side of the road.
Yeah, drop
and
them in.
Feed one by one.
How long did it take you to sell the 40?
Couple of days.
Yeah,
Couple of days.
Then what'd you do?
And then it was just orders of 100, 200, 500. And then the second month, like, we went from 12K to 60K the second month.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, I fucking made it. Like,
This is me forever.
I'm like, this is me forever. I had was buying heaps of shit. Like, I was investing money. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wasn't taking everything out, all the profits. Like, I was bought a new laptop, bought cameras, full podcast gear, like bought just heaps of shit.
The cookie cast.
Yeah, like I was just buying so much sort of stuff, and then Facebook went down.
That's the thing people do too quick, man. Like they make a bit of money and they just assume it's always going to be this easy. It's fucking not the case, man.
I think I said it on the last time. Like, yeah, the worst thing was being on a Sunday in my bed, making like $3,000 revenue for the day, which was like pretty decent. If you're doing that every day, that's almost $100,000 for the month. So like pretty decent day. And I did nothing. Ordered Uber Eats 3 times that day,
Yeah.
and literally didn't get out of bed and made money. And that was the worst thing for me because I was like, and I just chilled. And then from there, that was the peak, and it went from there down.
So you got shut down as well from Facebook feedback
Yeah.
servers.
And like I didn't. There was a couple of times where I thought it was all done. There was one time because our whole thing was like never nick your nads.
Yeah,
Like it was like these things is not like a normal shave. You're not going to cut yourself. Of course you're going to cut yourself. Even like I've got a Manscaped. Like I don't use that. I use a Manscaped one.
It's like I don't use my own fucking product.
But like I've cut myself plenty of times.
Yeah.
Like you got, you know, and they don't talk about that at all anymore. Like that's all out of their advertising.
Really? They don't have the balloons
They
and
never
stuff
talk
anymore?
about not that I've seen. Not on their website. It's all like it's just
Because they'd have to refund you straight away if they say you
Yeah.
don't, right?
yeah. So I had one guy one night, and I was staying at my girlfriend's at the time, and he'd basically been emailing me like, "Look, I've cut myself. I'm suing you. Like I'm suing you." And I was like, I had no insurance. I had nothing. I didn't know.
You didn't have public liability or
nothing.
whatever?
I didn't know. Like it was
That's
just
fucked.
learning.
That's so
So
fucked.
no public. He's like, "Look, I'm suing you. And all of this," and I'm freaking.
How bad
out.
did he cut himself?
Oh, like he said, he nicked himself. Like it was nothing. But I was naive. I didn't know. So I'm freaking out. I'm like there crying to my missus. Like I remember like being on the edge of the bed. I'm like, I'm done. My life's ruined. I'm going to jail. Like,
You're sitting there eating this Uber Eats crying.
like honestly, that's genuinely how I felt. Like I was like, this is fucked. Like I hate this. I just want to go work a normal job. Like
Wow.
turns out like I sent him a couple of emails. Like all right, all good. Like I'll take the refund.
So what did you respond back to
I
that?
was like, look, mate, you know, obviously terms and conditions, like we'll just give you a refund. Like I wasn't like, no, please. Like
yeah.
I was pretty professional. But yeah, refunded, didn't hear from him. Other funny things was I would send out, when they'd get their package, they would be like a little thing, like send a photo with the, because I needed content for ads, I needed for the website, and get 20% off your next order. So then I had old blokes, because that was surprising. My biggest customer segment was like blokes aged 40 to 70.
That's so funny.
Like 40 to 70. So that was my biggest, my biggest customers. So I was getting photos. They obviously didn't understand what I was meaning. So they would send photos from like underneath of like their balls. Like they're like, hey mate, love the product, thanks. And like literally just
Sending you dick
photo
pics.
up. Yeah.
Well, it's called sax grooming for a reason, right?
Yeah. So that was interesting. Obviously I couldn't put them on the website.
They went
Just
into the
save them
wank
into your
bank.
personal folder.
But yeah, that was funny. And then Facebook got shut down and then had to sell it. Like I bought, because of COVID, there was all shipping issues. I bought $15,000 worth.
Well,
of,
can we talk about the Davey story? Because
Oh,
that's
I
a
was gonna-
fucking horror story.
Yes. That's,
This, for anyone who doesn't know, Davey Fogerty is like one of the most successful e-com guys in Australia. Does
Yeah.
fucking
Founder of the Woody.
yeah. Anyway, Joe, tell the story.
So I listed the brand on Shopify Exchange, which is where you can list it, like to sell it. And I had it listed, I think, for like 80 grand. Because that was like, you fill out, because obviously it's through Shopify, so they can see your sales, they can see everything. So they said recommended sale price, $85,000 US. So I was like, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Listed it for that. And then like people would email, hey mate, and there was this one guy, and this was before Davey put out any content.
Yeah.
So he was like, I didn't know who he was. And he sort of said like, looking to buy the brand, like interested. We booked in this meeting. I totally forgot about it and just flaked, like didn't show up. Didn't know who he was, regardless of if he was Davey or if he's no one. You don't miss a meeting, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just didn't think of it, completely missed it. And then he's like, look, his next email was sort of like, look, I'm pretty big in the space. Like you want to take this meeting. So jumped on this meeting and then spoke to him about it. Look, this is a brand. Send him over packaging, like send him over a sample and things like that. And then basically he told me who he was, like, oh, look, I own the Oodie and Pub Naps and all of this. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah.
Like, I own Saks.
And he said, yeah, I'm looking to hire people as well. So then I was like, and then I was constantly emailing him like, yeah, hey mate, like I want to come and work for you. But I'm
I won't miss a
You missed
meeting
a
again.
meeting.
I won't miss a
Because
meeting
I
again.
missed that first meeting, I'm sure he would be like, nah, mate, like you've already blown it.
Yeah.
But yeah, safe to say he didn't buy it because like the products weren't branded, or they were branded at this point, but like anyone could just go to one. So the actual, you know how I'm pretty sure, so I could be wrong, the patent that Manscaped talk about, like the skin safe technology, I'm pretty sure you might say different. I'm pretty sure that's the manufacturer's patent.
Yeah.
So there's only one manufacturer in Alibaba that sells this, and I'm pretty sure it's their patent. So I called it my own patent, like something safe technology.
Sack safe.
Yeah.
Sack
I
safe.
just called it sack safe technology.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure it's not Manscaped specific, it's just theirs, and then anyone that uses that manufacturer can use it. As far as I'm
Well,
aware.
you wouldn't have been using the same manufacturer as Manscaped.
Yeah, it was.
The same exact product.
No, because they had a custom mold by that point.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how it works because I know for a fact it's people have stolen our IP. So in China, like, it must happen all the time because, like, they'll buy the product. So whoever owns the patent will patent it, right? And then other manufacturers will buy it, and then they'll reverse engineer it and make their own molds and start producing the same thing. Why do you think so our manufacturer owned the patent of the original Happy Skin original handset that everyone had? And then not long after, every manufacturer was selling it. And it's like, to fight that stuff in China is so hard. Like, they are not set up to protect copyright at all. Like, their whole industry is very, you know, loosey-goosey when it comes to IP rights and that sort of stuff. So it's like, it's almost impossible to stop. So we knew that from the start. So we made a few adjustments to the original product we wanted, but essentially from the outside looking in, it looked exactly the same almost as, you know, the other competitors selling it. Like, it was within 5% difference, but, you know, so we developed our own. We worked with an Italian design team, designed the products. They made all the fucking renders and all the data to make the mold. Spent like 40,000 US making the mold. And then within like a year, another manufacturer had bought it. Like, and they couldn't have done any other way. Bought it, fucking processed it wherever they do, analyze the measurements, and then, like, just to sell the same shape as Happy Skin Co., they'll go to all that effort. And we're like, bro, just come up with your own new mold. Like, yeah, so. But it was that's too hard to stop. So what we do is anyone that we see selling that, we just go to the brand, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because if they were successful at selling the product, there would be hundreds, but they're not. And we got them taken off Alibaba, so they can only do it, like, through messages and stuff. But if we ever see anyone selling that, we're like, no, fuck you. Like, this is our patent.
Do you have like exclusive rights of your manufacturer, or?
We have deals with certain things, yeah, and with certain, we own certain patents. Not every single one, but yeah. It's just,
That's scary.
it's hard.
Bro.
It's hard to fight in China. But
Yeah, all the fake Nikes and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like was it Troy Candy with the snorkel?
Yeah.
Shit? That's pretty fucked.
What's
too.
that?
You know, like the snorkels.
It's like, as in, like,
You
what,
attach like a Corona beer to it, and you just fucking send
like
it.
the Shui Vasa kind of thing?
Yeah.
You see types of Vasa, but like, yeah.
Not an actual
Where-
shoey.
No, like, and they, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he made this whole thing, designed the whole thing, sent it to a manufacturer, got it produced, but
Did he
Did I-
patent it or no?
no, he didn't. He didn't own the IP to it, nothing, and then it just fucking.
Whenever.
They was selling it to everybody.
Like, yeah, he would have made. He made
made
a lot
money.
off it, but like he would have made so much.
But you know, it costs a lot of money and quite a bit of time to patent something. Like, and like, it really needs to be a clear improvement on the technology that already exists. Like, it's not easy and it's not cheap to patent something. So yeah, tricky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. What else? What other stories you got before we fucking wrap this up?
Yui?
Oh, I don't know.
Anything else?
I was gonna ask a question, but
Yeah, go.
what was I gonna say? It was like that whole thing's scary to start an e-com brand, like build a brand around this product, and then not knowing if the supplier's just gonna like cut you. Let's say a big company comes in and it's like, hey, like I want the rights to this product,
Yeah.
and they just completely shut you off.
Yeah, no, it's fucking the risk you got to take. What can you do when you're starting off? You don't have a lot of options. The hope is when you do that, you can make enough money at the start that if that does happen, to adjust and start some, like, make a new version or start something new. That a similar thing happened, not from that exact context, but what about, we talk about this on air with Raquel. That's public, or we didn't?
I can't.
No, it
remember
wasn't-
if
it
did,
wasn't.
Okay, don't worry about it.
It was not public.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
but you know what I mean?
after.
People
Yeah,
can fucking come in and try and steal your shit
Yeah.
left, right, and center. Like, it's just part of it. And you know how you're talking about the Amazon FBA stuff, Joe, and what we always have a laugh about is there's so many e-com gurus that make it seem so easy. Oh, bro, you just pick a product, put your website on, make a couple ads, put your budget, and then just watch the sales go in. And they make it seem so easy, but I feel like Amazon FBA is the worst like that. They make it seem like it's the easiest thing ever. Anyone can do it. You turn it on. Oh, we got so many customers on Amazon per day. You're just gonna pick a product, put it on Amazon, and you're gonna change your life.
Yeah.
But it was not like that at all, right?
No, and I didn't even get to the point of selling it at like I made all like the product, everything, created the company, things like that. I just then it got too hard, and then I didn't actually go through with it. But the thing with Amazon FBA, and I see it a lot less people like pushing for it, and a lot more of those people moved into just straight like Shopify, start your own e-commerce thing, because you don't own it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So like Amazon, it's known basically what they do is you go and create your brand. Amazon says, oh, this is working great. And then they just make the Amazon basics or Amazon brand of that. And then they can just push yours off. Because Amazon, it's PPC.
Yeah.
So you just have like, you're just paying to be at the top. That's their marketing.
Yeah.
Then there's all these like grey hat things that you do. So you would be in these groups. And what you do is you go, hey, they used to call it something. It would be like, hey, review for review. So you go pay. So you get like 100 people to go buy your products. That pushes up because the search volume, push it up. You refund them on PayPal. So they don't have to pay for the product. They give you a good review. And so you'd be helping everyone. We'd be helping each other.
Okay.
Amazon caught up. Like, I don't know how there's a very specific way to do it without getting caught. But yeah, like Amazon, like I feel you don't own any of that. Amazon owns it all. They own all the data, and then they just make their own. So like that's even a lot harder. Yeah, a lot harder than ecom. But as well, just on ecom, I think people forget because now there's so much opportunity. I feel people forget before Shopify, before any of this, if you wanted to start a business, you're outlaying 50, 100 grand.
Fucking
like,
way more, bro.
Like,
you can't start a business for most people.
So people go, oh, well, it's hard. Like, you spent $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, that, you spent $1,000. That's nothing compared to what brick and mortar or anything. Like, it's so easy. And even if you spend $50,000 and try 10, 20 brands, that's not even close to what before any of this technology. Like that's what I feel forget.
Yeah.
But it's because everybody just keeps selling, oh, it's so easy, it's so easy. They go into it blind of like, oh, bro, it's online. I get to use online for free anyway. This whole thing should be free.
Like you obviously can change your life through e-commerce and stuff for sure, but there's a process to it. Like there's
100%.
It's not easy. Like if you don't put in the work, like as perfectly as we timed this product to market, like if there's so many times it could have failed, like we're almost 5 years in business now, so many times it could have failed. Even in the first year, everything's going right. Like there was one time, remember, this was the first time we had a scary issue like this. I remember this for some reason. I was coming back from Coogee Pav. It must have been someone's birthday or something. And George called me and he goes, I was on a Sunday afternoon. He goes, oh, bro, got some news for you. And I had no idea. He's like, I've been freaking out all day. I didn't want to call you and tell you until it was done. But like, that was the first time we imported like in a big bulk. And then customs had all these questions. And like, it was just a matter of giving them the information and stuff. But he was like, bro, it was the first time having something held at customs. And when it's your first time having any of these issues, you're freaking out. It's the end of the world. But yeah, what was the point of that? What was I saying before that? Something I wanted to say.
How hard it is to start e-commerce.
I don't know how easy it is to start e-com.
Yeah. There's so many fucking problems you have to overcome, man. That's why I really think it's best if you're starting a business. I mean, do what you want, but there's a lot of advantages to doing it with someone because the amount of investment you need in terms of cash, it's 50% each, so it's less of your total net worth. You have two different brains, hopefully 2 different skill sets to get through it, and you keep pushing each other through it because there's so many times, bro. Like I remember. Man, you just like business is tough, and we'll be working at like fucking 2:30 in the morning one day and you think, fuck, why do I do this? And now I really remember, I really understand it. I think I said this when we had Sam on the podcast a little while back. Robin Williams had a quote, I've quoted this a couple of times, like, only act, you should only be an actor or only act if you need to act. And I'm like, oh, no one needs to act. But then I thought about that, like, why do I put myself through this with business? Like, I'd love it, but there's times where it's fucking hard. Like, it's like way longer hours, way more stress and pressure. But it's like, okay, whether you love that or hate it, it's just part of it. Like, you enjoy it. You learn to love it. I learned to love the harder parts. But it's like, okay, what's the flip side? Like, go get a job. I'm like, oh, I can't. I have to be in business. I have to have a business. So that's where I get that analogy, that saying. Let's start to wrap it up. Looking back, a couple last things, like talking about all these fucking things we've had to overcome along the way. Looking back, we'll go both of you one at a time. If there's like one thing you could have changed or done differently in your journey in business career, what would it have been? What would you have changed?
For me, it would be to make mistakes sooner. Not to be a perfectionist, just fucking do it and you'll learn the lesson. Yeah. Like if you keep holding back and you keep overthinking it, and I still do it to this day, I still overthink a lot of shit. But bro, if you just fucking do it and learn the lesson and just fight the fight, it makes the whole thing easier. That's for me.
I agree. Yeah. For me, it would just be start sooner. Like start sooner, because there were so many times where I didn't think with, like, let's say for e-com, so many times I started brands and then like I would stop. And like if I'd started so much sooner with, let's say, Saks, which was the first thing that, you know, popped off. If I'd started sooner, I would have made a lot more mistakes. And also back then, look, in hindsight, Facebook was a lot better back then. I would have made a lot more money. But just having the belief in myself to start sooner, I wish I sort of backed myself a bit more and started sooner. That'd be the one for me.
And not to give a fuck as well about like what other people think. Bro, if I kept going with YouTube, bro, I had a video blow up and everybody memes it. My whole school memed me. But I was like, bro, I'm making money off this shit. Like,
how old were you when you made the video?
It was in 2012. I don't know, 13.
Yeah.
It was like a Minecraft video.
I know what the video is.
I'm gonna clip this and put it.
And how many views did it get?
Like 5.2 mil, bro.
Yeah,
and back
crazy.
then, YouTube was paying half decent money.
The
way I stumbled across the payment, it's crazy. I was like, oh, it was $100. I'm like, oh, this is mad, like $100. But then when I actually went through, set up the AdSense, it was like $2,000. I'm 13. Made $2,000 from what? A fucking video.
Yeah. How long did it take you to film as well? Like a day? You
bro, it was like an hour. I was just mucking around, bro. And bro, if I could go back, I wish I rode the wave. I wish I just jumped on and didn't give a fuck what my people in my school were saying, what my friends thought, and I just wish I started pushing YouTube more.
Did we say yours, Joe?
Yeah.
What was it? Fuck, there's so many things, bro. There's so many things. Not listening to that advice that I had before, bringing my cousin in earlier, which was already pretty early, but fucking saved us so much money. Some things I can't say on camera, but kind of allude to in some of the content we have coming up. But one thing that really, in terms of my career, not just Happy Skin Co, that I wish I did sooner, for sure, is I wish I started properly, like from like. Because I'm the type of guy, I hate all that. There's so many fucking gurus and everyone wants to give you advice and everyone's an e-commerce master. There's fucking every 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old's a life coach, all that stuff. I think it's so stupid and I hate it. And I let that deter me from properly investing in putting out content, because the people I look up to, I like compare myself. Like I said, when we put out content, if I think it's good, like I'm comparing myself to Gary Vee, HORMOZI, like I'm comparing myself to the best of the best. Whereas like I had an authority, or not authority, a right to speak about it so much sooner. Like if I just let go of that fucking belief that I had that I didn't want to be another one of those people, if I started putting out content and sharing the whole journey along the way, from the start, imagine documenting the whole Happy Skin Co journey live on socials and everything, bro, would have fucking blown up. Could have done so many amazing things with like this platform that I'm obviously the most passionate about as well. Business, of course, and e-com, but like education and like public speaking and content creation and documenting and that sort of stuff. I think that's the main one. Looking back now, if I could have done that, would have been fucking the best. But you don't, like, that's what we were talking about. Fuck, I wish I went from day one on TikTok hard. It's like, I had so many other things I was caring about then. I had so many other things I needed to focus on. Like, if I was going to do that, who knows if Happy Skin Co would have been as successful as it was, because I had to focus on what I had to then. And it's always easy in hindsight to say, oh, I wish I did this, wish I did that. But yeah, all we can do is let the information and the lessons make us make better decisions in the future. So that's what I'm like, okay, yeah, sweet. I'm not missing the next thing. Clubhouse, I'm all in. Clubhouse went nowhere. But the next one, don't worry, I'll go early. And that's the thing. I was fucking working with Gary Vee that whole time as well. And he's like, yeah, but I just didn't have time. He's like, bro, hire a personal assistant. I was like, yeah, but anyway, I didn't want to be like that guy, like 20 fucking six personal assistant.
I know, I would have been there probably messaging the same time saying, let me come and film you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that would have been another one. And last question, like for people for 2023, if you had no money or like barely any money, like what type of business do you think you would start now?
Oh, service-based business.
Yeah.
I mean, play on your skills. So it would definitely be in videography. I'd still be pushing that, but actually pushing it and not sitting there waiting for people to come to me like, oh, I've done a video, put some effort in. Yeah. Oh, and leads are just going to come in. People are going to come knocking on my door because I'm UE Films or whatever the fuck it is. Like I would actually put in effort and just, but yeah, service-based, bro.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, 100% still, and probably still for the next 10 years, I would go get a job packing shelves to get money coming in and fucking start an e-com brand.
Yeah.
Like still, it is so early. Like I know we talk about Facebook and all that, but it is still so early in that.
Yeah.
I would be just going ham on that. That's what I'd be doing.
My advice to people would be that for sure, is to still start an e-com brand. For me personally though, if I had this knowledge, and it's like, it's so easy to say like, once you've made a bit of money, it's easy to say money doesn't matter, you know what I mean? But it's like, and I think it's really good. An e-com brand you can make, if tens of thousands of profit is enough to change your life, that's amazing. If hundreds of thousands or millions, that's the best way to make life-changing money. Is that, look, service-based starting an agency is really good, but then are you good enough to build that skill that you're going to sell off? That's the other challenge. But for me, really, like, if money didn't matter, which you know is kind of manipulating the question a bit, like, I would do this full time. I would teach in some way, shape or form, whether it be mindset, business, whatever it be. But this stuff I could do all day for free. I'd like fucking start a podcast, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And just bootstrap, do it all myself, and let that grind ride that wave. Yeah. So there we go. Fucking what a Halloween episode. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. We just wanted to have some fun. But yeah, there we go. Fucking let's wrap it up. There we go.
Thanks,
Alex.
Thanks,
Done.